Cast your minds back. The month of May, second leg of the Europa League semi-final, 3-1 lead on aggregate, and Spurs travel to Bodø Glimt looking to get into Europa League final. 4 months later, we return back to the same place. Obviously, the stakes are a bit different, but nonetheless, a win is needed just as much as it was before. Now, are Spurs the same team that we were 4 months ago? I don't know. Obviously, we've got a new manager. We've got some new players. Some of our performances this season haven't been up to standard, but a tough test nonetheless. It's Spurs versus Bodø Glimt tonight, 8 p.m. And Spurs really need to make a difference compared to their last couple games. If you think back at the Europa League game tie against Villarreal at home, 1-0, absolute boring performance. But of course, we got the victory. Then we go to, obviously, the game at Brighton. Drew 2-2, not the greatest start. Then we play Doncaster, of course, the team we're meant to beat. And yes, we got the job done. But the performance, once again, wasn't the greatest. Then we go into Wolverhampton Wanderers, a team with no points in the Premier League. And Spurs serve up an absolutely dire performance. Of course, yes, we didn't lose, but still, we're going to need to improve this. Yes, we play Bodø Glimt in the Champions League. Of course, when we beat them in the Europa League, the whole media narrative was, you're never going to play teams like this in the Champions League. Well, surprise, surprise, we're playing them. And just going off the back of the Wolves game, I don't know where it went wrong. We're still waiting for the link up at the top of the field. Of course, you got to feel a bit sorry for Thomas Frank. The Tottenham Hotspur injuries, not injuries, I'm not going to say we've got loads of injuries, but the Tottenham Hotspur injury curse has already seemed to strike him. Dom Solanke, of course, is our record signing. Seems to he's gone under surgery now, obviously, with the ankle injury. So Spurs have now wasted a whole month trying to get him fit when there was a lot of reports about a month ago that he was going to need surgery. They obviously tried to avoid it, and now he's gone under the surgery. So we wasted a bit of time there. Kolo Muani, a player that we signed with a near perfect injury record, only missed one game. He's already going to miss 3. I think maybe this might be his 4th game. Obviously, having to rely on Richarlison up top, who is hit and miss, can have some good games, can go missing in some games. Obviously, Matthias Tell's not even in the starting lineup. So you're looking at the problems up front, and then you got there. Obviously, the left wing issues, can't find a solid left winger to start throughout the club, even though we've got about 10 in the squad. We got problems, man. Honestly, we really got problems, but we can't be crying about this because, of course, we're here to preview the match against Bodø Glimt, the team that Spurs went away to last season, and we beat them 2-0, which was a very tough task because, let's be honest, these guys play on a 4G pitch. Of course, I don't even think it's 4G. 4G are normally like the little black bits you get. I think theirs is more like one of them old school AstroTurfs you had in primary, secondary school. Sort of more like a carpet type feel. So of course the ball bounce is different. It's a bit different. Sliding tackles are a bit different as well. But yeah, nonetheless, it makes it a tougher tie. Of course, going away to anywhere in the Champions League is always tough as well. And Spurs really need to do something. Now, in terms of our team, I know Romero did not train because they're managing him. So is that maybe a potential that we look to take him out of the team? Because going onto that surface, you don't really want to go with players that are not 100%, because obviously that turf can cause more injuries than necessary. It also takes longer to recover as well. So maybe do we see a Kevin Danso come in? Of course, if we see Kevin Danso come into the centre-back, then we can utilise the long throw that he has. So maybe we can create some more problems from there. But it is an issue being too dependent on set pieces. Of course, a lot of fans rinsed Arsenal for it last season because once the set pieces aren't working, then we don't really have anything else that we can throw at them. So that's just something we need to be aware of. Of course, it's a dangerous asset, so we might as well use it. And if Kevin Danso does play, then I think it can cause a lot of issues. But Spurs need to look at solving the creativity issues. And I don't know, guys, if you guys let me know in the comments what you would probably do. Is it bringing in a Wilson Odobert? Of course, it sounds so simple as putting Xavi in the 10, but then what do you do with the rest of the midfield? So let me guys know what you would do about that problem. But in terms of tonight, the starting lineup I'm going to go with, I'm half tempted to put in Anthony Kinski. I know it's probably an absolute confidence breaker for Glimt with Vicario, so it's probably not going to happen, but I think Kinski's got to be afforded another chance. Of course, yes, he played against Doncaster last week and didn't really have much to do. Of course, he made good saves when he needed to, but I think in some of these games, maybe you might just have to try Anthony Kinski, purely because of his footwork. I think in a game like this, you're going to have to go longer a bit more because you don't really want to be playing football too much on the terrain, especially because the ball's going to be so unpredictable with the bounce and stuff like that. So playing short, sharp passes might not be the greatest idea. As much as I'm saying I want Kinski in goal, I think it's going to be Vicario anyway. Right and left backs. Obviously, Pedro Porro did get arrested the weekend, but we miss his creativity when he doesn't come into the side. So I'm probably going to go Pedro Porro, especially because I'm probably not starting Christian Romero with the injury doubt. So, of course, Pedro is probably going to be the captain. So I'm going Pedro Porro on the right, Jed Spence on the left, Mickey van der Ven and Kevin Danso in the centre of defence. The two midfielders, I'm going to go with João Paulinho and Lucas Bergvall. Obviously, the three in front of them, I'm going to go... I think we need Brennan Johnson. This is a weird one because Brennan Johnson and Mohamed Kudus are two complete different players, right? Mohamed Kudus will beat his winger 1v1, beat his defender 1v1. He's pretty much unstoppable, gets good crosses into the box, whereas Brennan Johnson's the complete opposite because he doesn't really beat his man, doesn't really get assists, but he will be there to score the goals. And once again, that's something we're missing. So I'm probably going to go with Brennan Johnson. Of course, he played against Bodø Glimt as well, so he's used to the terrain himself. In the 10, I'm going to go Xavi Simons. And then on the left, I'm going to go Wilson Odobert. I don't really think we have many other options there anyway. Obviously, unless we play the youngster, which probably isn't going to happen. Well, we're going to have to go Richarlison up top because it's either Richarlison or Dane Scarlett. And let's be honest, I don't think he's going to play Dane Scarlett. So, yeah, that's probably going to be my lineup. What would you guys do in terms of a score prediction? I don't really know. I think it's going to be a really tight game. I hope Spurs getting a win, but I could easily see us drawing the game, which a draw is not the worst, but of course you just want to win as many early games as possible in the Champions League, sorry. So in terms of score prediction, I'm going to go with 2-1 Tottenham Hotspur. I think it's going to be tight. 1-1, might even go a goal down and have to come back and then manage to turn it over on the backside. I've really got faith that Brendan Johnson's probably going to score tonight. Whether he starts or whether he comes off the bench, I think he's probably going to be pivotal. Arguably the best goal scorer in the squad right now. I know Richarlison's obviously the striker, but Brendan Johnson's proven. I think he's scored more goals in a Premier League season than Richarlison ever has. I don't actually know about that, so if someone wants to check that and come back to me and confirm. But yeah, gonna go with that. Nothing more to say. Let's hope the performance is way better as well. Of course, we'll be back to break it down. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. Please smash like. And we'll be back after the game. Come on, you Spurs. Peace and love.